I'm Virginia McGathey here on the floor at the CME Group reporting on the livestock market. Today, cattle slipped a little bit. The sell-off in the equities is definitely affecting the livestock market, and it's adding pressure because with economic uncertainty and a little bit instability in the economy or in the stock market, it really lends itself to a reduction of demand in beef and pork. And so some of this nervousness over the last couple of days is starting to affect the market, and it really pushed it much lower. But today it slipped a little bit. It's still kind of hanging on somewhat, but not so much for the feeders. The feeders were weaker by a little over $1. And what happens is, now that we have somewhat of a equilibrium, the idea that we have some large supplies that are pressuring the futures a little bit lower. You know, recently this really wasn't an issue much because we've had a lot more sales, and that really offered a little underpinning support of the market and was keeping it higher. So the idea that we had larger supplies, everyone was pretty much shrugging that off. Now it's starting to take a little bit of effect, and everyone's kind of watching this closely. Right now, the U.S. dollar index is, it was slightly higher, but overall kind of weaker. We're really expecting it to start to move a little bit lower. That will definitely help our ability to be competitive around the world. That being said, there's a big report coming up for the grains on Thursday. If that sends the grain market higher, that definitely can put a little bit of pressure on the livestock and certainly the beef prices and cattle. So we're going to watch that closely. Now for the hogs, a steep drop today. It seems that lower wholesale and cash prices really weighed heavy on the futures, and it sent it to a new low that we haven't seen in quite a while. Now we do know that oftentimes in the hog market, it really overshoots its objective ever since it's been on this electronic platform. And so when we start to break through some of these support numbers, we see the market really start to fall or really rally, depending on what end of the spectrum we're on as far as, you know, just the volatility of the market. Now there has been some liquidation of funds that started to push this market lower, a little bit of follow through selling, and you know, here we are. We were really pressing towards that $70 number. That is a huge support number, and if we can hang on to that, perhaps the market can bounce off, or maybe we come into a consolidative area. But if we break through that $70 mark, when, you know, starting tomorrow, we're going to be watching closely. If we get a continuous follow through selling from this point, all bets are off as to how low it can really go. That's going to make a few of the traders a little bit nervous. So we're going to watch that closely. But for sure, we've got a lot of volatility in the air and in these markets, certainly for the next number of days. That's all from the floor at the CME Group here in Chicago. I'm Virginia McGathey.